Good morning. I was just sitting here thinking about how people got a lot of life and bullshit fucked up. You know, it's a lot of things out there I don't support. And a lot of things that, I'm not into. I'm here to talk about opportunity. Opportunity is something that's not given to you. It's something that have to be made. When you sit down, you make opportunities for yourself. Then you can succeed. It's not something that can be handed to you right out the door. You gotta build up on it. Just like our communities. A lot of times we sit down and, I might have somebody walk up to me and say, well, hey, I wouldn't offer the same opportunity as you. But coming up, I didn't have all the nice shoes, nice clothes, nice anything, man. In fact, the matter is just like this. We stayed in what you call shotgun houses right there in the area in Baton Rouge called the Lake. Then eventually moms built up on it. And we wound up staying in bigger houses and things. We didn't have a number of things coming up. What I mean by building up on your opportunities, like when I was in school, I drew a lot of pictures of trains. I used to draw trains because that's a dream. That's something I love to do. I drew other things too, but I drew trains. Sometimes I brought my model trains to school with me, and people nicknamed me Train Boy. They called me crazy. They called me all these things. And eventually what I wound up doing is driving trains, working for the railroad. But with that also comes with respect. We as black people don't respect each other. We have our own views towards things. We justify the things we do. It's not okay for another black man to call another black man a nigger. Because it was something that was used at a point in time in our existence that degraded us. It's not okay for black women to call each other bitches either. Because the meaning of bitch is female dog. So why call your own people those things? A couple of us would sit down talking, and we talk about how Chinese people, they stick together, white folks stick together, Mexicans stick together, every other race stick together except us. Then we get mad when somebody within our race say, hey, that's wrong, and start calling them Uncle Tom and all this other bullshit. Because we're so ignorant to the fact that, hey, it's time for us to open our eyes up and start getting ahead instead of holding each other down with bullshit. We have a community out there, and we all stay in different communities across the country. And we move in these communities, and they be looking all raggedy and torn down. You got beer bottles all over the place. You got liquor store on every corner. We have nothing really going for ourselves in these communities. So therefore, when people look at our communities, how raggedy they are, that's how we live. Instead of tearing the shit down, why don't we just build up? If we up in a community with houses falling apart, why not go there and, everybody get together and take their talents instead of standing on the corner selling dope, talking about, hey, this is my opportunity to come up. Trying to make fast money, knowing these people out here gonna fuck with you. And say, hey, let's build this house up right here so we can have something that somebody can stay in. And we don't, instead of jacking and rent up in these communities, how about just having a reasonable, rate? That way we can stay in and we can move up. You don't see that shit in all these suburban communities and shit like that. You only see that shit in the hood. Instead of being ghettofied and figure, hey, this is all we got, build up on it and invest into it. We don't invest in our own community. I'm looking at love and hip hop with motherfuckers out there buying $30,000 watches. and can't even take $30,000 and put it into a community, so people in that community can make have jobs. If you take $30,000 and put it into the community, you can invest into education for that community. So those who don't have high school diplomas and GEDs, you could open up a school down there and say, well, hey, you know what? I'll take this $30,000 and put it into here so these people get GEDs and shit. And people need to stop sitting up there trying to live like Love and Hip Hop. That shit is fake. It's just a bunch of people. I call that shit. When you see people on Love and Hip Hop, I call them people as people like monkeys. When you take black people and you have them showboating and acting a fucking fool on TV, that's monkeys. That's entertainment for white folks. That's how they get paid. That's not for us to act like that. We need to start banding together and start making things better for ourselves. Instead of blaming somebody for what opportunities that we do have, start making opportunities for ourselves. It ain't about turning up or smoking weed and shit, because that shit is not for us either. It might have medical benefits, it might have all this, but you don't own no lab, and we don't own no lab, or we don't own the type of shit to know what the health benefit of some of the shit we do. If we don't, knowledge is power. If you had to educate yourself, you say, well, hey, if they make this legal, what opportunities I'm gonna have out here for the, go out here on the job? Because people drug test you and shit, find that shit in your system, you ain't gonna get no job. So it's just another way of holding you down. And ignorance is telling you, hey, you know what? It got medical benefits. It's good for glaucoma and all this shit, but it's not good for you. It's hazardous for you finding a job, getting somewhere to excel and get better with yourself. So, we got to open up opportunities for ourselves. We got to build up on ourselves and stop allowing certain shit to happen. That's why I was preaching at one point. I was saying, I think we should police our own communities. I believe that if black folks band together and get rid of the shit that's going on in the community and police our own community, it'll cut down on some of the crime that we have. It'll cut down on some of the killings that we have. We'll cut down on a number of things, We allowed certain shit to go on. But this way it all breaks down to. I break it down like this. At one time, you had slaves. So therefore, when you had slaves, you had people out here saying, well, I'm gonna take this human being and put him with another human being to make more babies. So therefore you had all these slaves running around here and they were just making babies. That was some of them job. Well, so you can have babies, you have kids out there working in the fucking field. Eventually what wound up happening is, when that shit got imbalanced, you had people around here marrying and have 14, 15 kids. Now, they start passing laws and shit. So now, here it is, you got Planned Parenthood and all this shit in the communities that is controlling the population of us as a people. We don't have that shit. We didn't have that shit back in the days. You got other races out here having 10, 15 kids at a time. And here it is, black folks is now limited. With the exception of those who out there fucking having babies like rabbits and going on welfare. But like I said, it comes to opportunity. It's how we do. It's not justified. It's something that we can't just justify and say, well, it's okay for us to do this shit. It's not justified for us to be sitting up here doing this to each other. It's not justified for us to be out there killing each other and shit like that. Because if you feel the same way about a cop killing one of our own, we should feel the same way about we killing our own. And that's the way I see it. That's the way it should be seen by all of us. Not just one or two people. It should be seen the same way for all of us. Why are we out here killing ourselves? Why are we out here degrading ourselves? Why are we out here handling ourselves like this? It's like brother down on the corner selling dope to the neighbor down there, and he said, well, he ain't giving a fuck. He making money. It ain't his life. And you know what? Society don't give a fuck about it. They will not give a fuck about it until after that brother done killed the other brother down there. I sent him dope and shit. And next thing you know, brother going to jail and got 2 lives gone out the community. 2 lives thrown away for nothing. Or you got, women out here degrading themselves, barely dressing in clothes and the stuff they need to be dressed in proper attire. Figuring, well, hey, no man wants me because, I got short-lived skin. They're finna get the attention. Or going outside the race because they figure, well, hey, I see more opportunity up there and being more submissive to people of other races. Killing ourselves. Eradicating ourselves. And justifying it. And nothing wrong with dating outside your race, but stop justifying bullshit. It's called ghettoism when you sit down and say, well, hey, I gotta get it how I live. You get it how you live by going out there and finding your damn job. That's life.